What's up, everybody? It is Bucket Mouth Bass back here again today, and I'm sure you guys already see the title. Today I'm going to be showing y'all the top 5 simple upgrades that you need to make to your bass tracker boat. And keep in mind, none of these upgrades require drilling holes or anything too complicated. All of these are simple and easy to do, and I really wanted to make it like that because I know I would not be wanting to drill crazy holes into my boat or, you know, having to do anything too crazy myself. But before I actually start off with number 5 and move up towards number 1 here today, if you guys have not subscribed, go down, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you do not miss anything in the future. And if you guys want to see any more boating related videos, just let me know what you want to see down below in the comments. And keep in mind, you can make these upgrades to any bass boat as well. It doesn't only have to be a bass tracker boat. And keep in mind that we have the Bass Tracker 175. That's the boat that we have in the garage here today. We've had it for about 2 years. If you guys want to see a review over this particular boat, if you're looking to buy it, I'll leave a link up top and down below in case you want to watch that. Let's go ahead and cue the epic music and the intro. Alright, so how today's video is going to work is I'm going to start off with number 5 and then work my way up to number 1 on the list here today. And if you guys disagree with anything in today's video, do not be afraid to go down below in the comments and let me know what you disagree with. And if you like these kind of videos, please leave a like down below so I know that you like the video here today. And if you think I'm ugly or did not like the video or some other weird reason, go leave a dislike down below. But without further ado, let's jump into number 5. So number 5 is going to be the seat. All bass trackers come with these big bulky seats on the front and back of the boat. I'll put some videos so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and they're really bulky and hard to fish around, so I highly recommend that you switch those seats out for an inexpensive post seat so you can just lean or sit if you want to do that. It creates a lot more space when you're out fishing on the lake, and it just makes it a lot easier to fish and do things like that, especially if you're going to have 3 to 4 people out on the boat with you. It does give you more space to maneuver around the boat and for those other people to move around the boat as well. But I'm a huge fan of the post seats, but for some reason you cannot get post seats when you go buy a bass tracker brand new. They only come with those giant bucket seats at the front and back of the boat. I would highly recommend upgrading those seats to a simple post seat on the front and back because it's really easy to lean on. And some of you guys are going to say, why don't you just take the seats off? In my personal opinion and experience, I do not like doing that because if there's a lot of wake or waves out on the lake, you at least want something to lean up against. You don't just want to be standing there. You could do that, but for me, I definitely like to have something just to lean on, but I really don't need to sit completely down, so that's why I personally recommend upgrading to the post seats. And if y'all disagree with that, let me know below. Now moving on to number 4. This is actually a big upgrade that we made to our boat, is putting a fish finder at the front end of the boat as well as the one in the middle. So like I was saying, I would highly recommend adding an extra fish finder to the front of your boat, especially once you're in a spot that you know you want to fish. It's really easy to use the fish finder on the front. You can just look straight down while you're fishing and look at it and read if there's fish or if there's obstruction or, you know, grass or anything like that. And another thing that you can do, we actually did this ourselves, is you can actually mount the transducer piece of the trolling motor of the fish finder to the bottom of your trolling motor. It reads directly under where you're standing and directly under the front end of the boat. So that has really helped us catch more fish because you can stick your boat into a certain area and see where the fish are directly beneath you. Especially if you're fishing deep water, you can just drop your bait down down and jig fish, you know, fish it right up, and you know there's fish underneath you. So I would highly recommend adding a fish finder to the front end of the boat, because the one on the middle of the boat works very well. It does help you find spots and find fish and stuff, but obviously the transducer is going to be on the back of the boat. You could mount it to the front, but again, even if you do that, you're not going to be able to see that the one on the middle while you are up at the front fishing. So I would highly recommend putting an extra fish finder on the front end of your boat and mounting the transducer to the bottom of the trolling motor so you can see directly what is underneath you. And it's a super easy thing to do, guys. Bass trackers already come rigged up and ready to go to add an extra fish finder to the front of the boat. You don't have to go crazy expensive. We bought a low rance for about $200 to put up at the front. It's not, you don't have to pay a crazy amount of money. Obviously you can, but we just went ahead and bought something cheap so we could just tell if there was fish or if there was any obstruction or anything like that on the front end of the boat. So number 3, this is going to have to do with fish finders again. I would highly recommend upgrading the middle fish finder, the one that comes in the middle of the boat right here, because most bass trackers come with a very lousy fish finder. You get one of the higher end bass trackers, you are going to get a little bit better fish finder, but like we got on here, we got one that didn't even come with GPS, so you couldn't even mark spots or locations. You couldn't even mark where the boat dock was at. So obviously we had to get rid of that because we at least want GPS on our fish finder to be able to mark spots and stuff like that. They put a cheap fish finder on it just to say that it has a fish finder. Again, you don't have to go crazy expensive. You can go out there and buy a Garmin that's pretty high quality for pretty cheap. We decided to buy a low rance. Obviously we're trying to upgrade to another fish finder that has side scanning because we did not buy one, so I would highly recommend that as well. Do not go pay a bunch of money and not even get side scanning. That's what we did, so we don't even have side scanning. So like I was saying, just do yourself a favor. If you guys are going to be fishing a lot, especially if you're going to be fishing tournaments, get a new fish finder for your boat so you can actually tell what's going on, preferably with side scanning technology. Now moving on to number 2 on today's list. This one is super easy and your boat already comes rigged up for this, adding a second battery for the trolling motor. So when we first got the boat, we did not have that second trolling motor battery, and the trolling motor was constantly running out of charge. We were out on the lake for like 4 or 5 hours and it'd be done. You can't use the trolling motor, and that's a big problem because if you're wanting to move around quietly to spots or go down a bank or, you know, shoreside or wherever you guys fish, you're definitely going to want to have more than 4 to 5 hours to use your trolling motor. So definitely go buy a second battery for the trolling motor. Like I was saying, all bass tracker boats come ready to add a second battery for the trolling motor. I think even the 190 and 195, if I'm not mistaken, actually come with a third spot to add a third trolling motor battery. So that's a huge benefit to buying a bass tracker. It already comes ready to go to at least add a second battery for the trolling motor, and it has helped us out a ton because we get a lot more use out of the trolling motor. So I would definitely buy a new battery so you can move around the lake for a lot longer. Now moving on to number 1 on today's list. This is a big issue that I have with the bass tracker boats. They all come with a weak trolling motor. So for example, the Bass Tracker 175 that we have comes with a 45-pound trolling motor. If there is any waves or wake at all on the lake, you are barely moving when you have this thing up at max speed. So if you guys can afford it right after buying the boat, I would highly recommend buying at least a 55-pound trolling motor. We still have the 45-pound trolling motor because we don't have the money to upgrade to a more powerful one. Honestly, I don't even know why Tracker puts a 45-pound trolling motor on this big of a boat. It's not big enough for the boat at all. Maybe if you guys are looking to buy the classic, the 45-pound would be just enough, but I know even the Bass Tracker 190 comes with the 45-pound trolling motor, and I'm just like, guys, a 45-pound trolling motor is not enough trolling motor for the 175, and then they put it on the 190. Come on, like, honestly, Tracker should at least give you a 55-pound trolling motor right off the bat. That's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, let me know down below. But the 45-pound trolling motor is not enough to get the job done. I would highly recommend upgrading to at least the 55-pound trolling motor. And keep in mind, if you guys go any higher than a 55-pound trolling motor, you have to get a different kind of battery for that trolling motor. That's why I'm saying a 55. You can go more like a 60 or 65, but like I'm saying, before you go out and buy batteries for a 65 or higher trolling motor, you definitely want to make sure you're getting the right battery, because it takes a different battery than the 45, 55, or lower than both those two. But if you guys like today's video, do not be afraid to go down in the comments and let me know, or leave a like letting me know that you like today's video. But if you guys disagree with anything I said here today, go down in the comments and let me know as well. But thank y'all so much for watching here today. I will be having some more boating related videos coming here in the near future. And if you guys made it to this part of the video, go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss anything. But I'll see y'all back here next time.